want him to come in and execute the offense, and he has done exactly that today as he has been patient in the pocket. He's found the receivers. He's delivered the ball. They've made the catches. So he's had a very efficient first half.
You see Cedric Benson needing 111 yards to move past Robert Strait in the 4th place all-time Texas rushing list. 141 yards away from moving into 3rd place for the all-time list to pass Rodney Thomas. As you take a look at the numbers there, he's 141 yards away from Rodney Thomas from Groveton. I don't think anybody's going to catch Ken Hall.
No, Ken Hall's record is safe, as has been forever and probably will remain as such.
Cedric Benson, of course, such an important part of Lee's success the last few years. Duke Hassan, also a solid first half for Westlake. And it's a guy who just doesn't make many mistakes. Only 2 interceptions the entire year for Duke Hassan. And Duke Hassan is doing an excellent job of executing the Westlake Chaparral offense, and he's gotten a lot of help from his 2 stud tailbacks in Dewan and Ballou. But again, the Westlake offense is doing a nice job of creating those seams and creases like they do, and the running backs have taken up huge yards. And then Hassan has shown the presence in the pocket. He's gone back to a play a couple of times to Ballou across the middle where he's hit that little slant in, and it's been very effective for Westlake. Interestingly enough, Westlake got the football to start the game, and they'll get the football to start the second half as Lee exercises the wind option in this contest. Well, I don't know about that decision. I think when you got a guy like Cedric Benson and you're going in this kind of a shootout, you want to get the ball absolutely as many possessions as you can. They've shown that they can be effective going into the wind with throwing the football. So it's a little questionable here, but understandable that they want to try to set the tone with their offense, with the Midland Lee defense, and then put Westlake back in the bad field position with the wind. Christian Campbell would love to be able to return a kick, but of course, Michael Wynn will be kicking off with the wind at his back. As you see the ball on the tee, Damon Johnson holding it for Michael Wynn. Start of the second half in this 21-21 tie. This one holds up in the wind, and Campbell about 4 yards deep, and after he bobbles it, he'll put down the knee. And the Chaparrals will operate from their own 20-yard line here to start the third quarter. You saw that number with Ron Schrader with 10 consecutive district titles. Westlake, percentage-wise, the winningest 5A team in Texas in the decade of the 90s. And barely edging out an excellent football team in Lamarck. The Lamarck Cougars have put a great run together, but you're right, Westlake, Craig, has done just an incredible job of having this football team ready year after year. Chaparrals go on the attack with Jed Johnston and Christian Campbell, the receivers, on the ground on first down. And Brendan Dewan picks up 3 yards on first down before he was brought down by Dwight Washington, the weak side defensive end. Second down, 7 yards to go, Westlake. Remember, they took the opening kickoff and marched it 80 yards in 6th place to get the first score of the game, and they did it largely on the ground. Campbell and Johnston, again, the receivers. This time on an option keeper, Hassan. And on second down, not much there at all after the handoff as Dwight Washington comes in on the stop again. Back to Loft and a couple more plays. Dewan went back. Dewan carrying the fake out as he comes in from the fullback position there, or takes the handoff, and then the Hassan carrying out the fake. No one was really sure what happened, but the Midland Lee defense had an idea where the football was, and they ganged up on Dewan and knocking him down for no gain. Westlake would love to be able to move the football into this wind on the ground. And Lee knows it as well. Tough to pass into the breeze. The Chaparrals may have to do it here. Campbell and Grant Hankenine, the receivers on third down. Ballou in motion. Hassan in trouble, and he's going to go down for the first time today. The first sack. A 9-yard loss. Washington and Fred Threat team up to make the tackle for Midland Lee. Dwight Washington coming in. He is the leader with 10 sacks coming into today's game. And you see him coming off the outside corner there. He just beats the left tackle, getting to Hassan, dropping him for a big loss. Huge play. Great series by the Midland defense. Washington just getting away from Matt Banish, the left tackle. And now Westlake must punt into this win. Nardley back deep to receive the kick. The first Westlake punt of the day, and you see the wind affect it. But it does take a good Westlake hop all the way down to the 48-yard line as that kick will go 38 yards, and into that breeze, 38 yards is pretty impressive.
And you hear the ovation from the Westlake faithful here. They're very pleased with that punt, as they should be. That was an excellent job of getting the ball out, back up to your own 1-yard line, and now you've kicked the ball out. And Midland Lee does have a short field, but in this win, Craig, that was an excellent punt.
It was, and now Midland Lee, with excellent field position, operates from the Rebel 48-yard line in a 21-21 tie. Timeout here in the third quarter. Early third quarter, Midland Lee stops Westlake, and now the Rebels operate from their own 48-yard line. 21-21 the score here. As Lee gets it for the first time in the second half, as does Cedric Benson in a gain of about 3 into Westlake territory at the 49-yard line. Brought down by Jake Johnston, the corner. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and you see the numbers continue to climb for Cedric Benson.
Now, Craig, that was one of the most amazing things to me as I was preparing for the game, reading through some of the comments. Cedric Benson was actually, again, apologetic about only gaining 93 yards last week against the Woodlands.
2nd down and 7 for Lee. This time it's Kendrick on that fullback trap that really doesn't do much. Maybe a couple of yards after Jacoby Kendrick bounced off of Dustin Hare and then finally goes down.
And Brian Welburn also laid a lick on him right there at the line of scrimmage. But again, a nice job by Kendrick. He gets hit at the line. He's able to spin around and pick up another yard or 2.
On 3rd down, John Parchman has seen his football team run the ball well against Westlake today. See what they do here on 3rd down and 6. Nick Hand does want to throw, and the ball is caught by Winston in a 1st down. Eric Winston's 2nd grab of the game, picks up 12 yards. Johnston on the tackle. The big tight end, Eric Winston, another 1st down for Lee.
Craig, take a look here at Cedric Benson as he goes out. Watch the block that he lays on the linebacker. It absolutely levels him. And then you see the big Eric Winston going up using his hands. Excellent job. 6'6" frame. Catching that football. It's a big conversion for Midland Lee on this opening drive in the 3rd period.
Well, you mentioned a key to the game, having enough balance also with Benson. And that means using Cedric Benson as a decoy from time to time. No decoy here as Benson gets the call. Legs knocked out from under by Jake Johnston, but not before Cedric Benson picks up 5 more yards.
Hopped up a little gingerly there. It looked like Jake Johnston went down and hit him right around the knees. He's upended him that way.
But he has also had a sore groin that he's kind of been dealing with a little bit.
You can see as he takes the hand or takes the pitch back, he goes down and just gets upended right there. That'll kind of jar you a little bit.
2nd and 5 for Lee. Hand off the plate, fakes to turn and keep it himself, and he's close to and has another Lee 1st down. Johnston, the corner, makes the tackle, but Nick Hand executing the play fake, rolls out, picks up the necessary yardage.
As he rolls to his left, it looked like he started to look for a receiver downfield, but everybody was kind of bunched up again. And you're going to see that when you're not a passing team, a predominantly running team, you're going to get your tight ends and your running backs who are running those little intermediate routes. They're going to kind of all seem to get together or coalesce in the same part of the field, and Hand, recognizing that, did a nice job of turning that up and picking up the 1st down.
Jeremy Piper and Harold Faust check in as they kind of jumbo the defensive line, do the chaparrals, and it shows there as they stack up Benson. They brought everybody up that time, and it was Houston Street, the free safety, and run support coming up to make the tackle.
Got a help from a lot of folks there. Eric Smart also in on that play. Houston Street on this is one of the plays where you can come back and say, all right, I didn't have to go one-on-one with you there, and I laid a pretty good lick on you and stopped you. Again, Houston Street, an excellent football player.
Jacoby Kendrick checks back in the lineup.
Tyler Gatewood going through, and that's how you love your linebackers to play. They just go up and blow up the blockers coming down, and he just destroyed them at the line of scrimmage. Didn't give Benson any seam at all.
On 2nd down, it is Benson to carry again and hit again and dropped at the 24-yard line. This time, Houston Street again coming up with a big pop. 3rd down now for Lee.
And that one-on-one play there by Houston Street, coming from his free safety position. He reads the play extremely well. He gets a kick-out block, does Benson, but Houston Street lays the wood on Benson and drops him right there in an excellent open field one-on-one tackle there. Otherwise, Benson would be in the end zone.
3rd down at about 8. needed for Lee. And the throw. With time, Winston can't hold on, however, in and out of his hands, and it's fourth down for the Rebels.
That ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Winston still showed excellent concentration, almost came down with that.
Brian Welborn might have been the guy who got his hands on the football. Eric Smart, the safety, was on the coverage as you look at Brian Welborn. Fourth down, and Michael Wynn, who has made 8 field goals this year, with the wind at his back, and he has a strong leg, will try a 42-yarder.
Hey, you don't want to overkick here. You got the wind at your back. Go ahead.
Rebels have to hurry. It's a fake. A flag comes down. Down go the Rebels. It just completely disintegrated the play as Midland Lee had a legal motion. Obviously, Westlake will decline this penalty, and the Chaparrals are going to get the football back.
Jannard Lee was the blocking back on that field goal attempt, and he was not on the field, and he tried to rush on late, and as he did, he rushed on when the center was snapping the ball to the holder, actually hit him in the shoulder. Unbelievable that he would even come on the field that late.
John Parchman has seen his team make some uncharacteristic mistakes today. The turnovers, had a couple of penalties, and this will be a flag against Midland Lee, but it won't matter. Westlake will obviously decline it.
Take a look on the screen. You see Jannard Lee coming in. He's trying to yell at the holder, hold on, and he snaps the ball, hits him right in the thigh. Oh, man, what a play. That really hurts Midland Lee because, Craig, they took the drive, the opening drive of the third period. They got it down in field goal position. They have a field goal kicker who can make that kick. They've got the wind at their back, everything that they need. They need those 3 points in a game like this today, and they really just imploded on that particular play.
John Parchman, I think, is asking for why isn't it a dead ball situation, but the call is it is an illegal procedure call. So Westlake declines the penalty, obviously, and the Chaparrals will take over at the 38-yard line. And just like we mentioned in the first quarter, Shay, you look at it now, Midland Lee has seen half of the third period go by with the wind at their back and with no points to show for it. Westlake to Ballou on first down for a couple.
And again, they were in excellent position, was Midland Lee, to go ahead and take the field goal attempt and gain the winning points here, or the go-ahead points in the third period. Really an unexcusable mistake, and you just really have to feel for Jannard Lee because, you know, this guy's been a big contributor on the Midland Lee team, and not to have that happen is just really tough on him.
Rebels trying to get organized on defense now as Westlake comes to the line on second down and a long 8. Passing against the blitz. Gets away from one man, but not the second. Down he goes, and the pressure coming from Lee. Dwight Washington once again coming in on the sack.
Craig, there were only 2 guys in the route on that particular play, and Midland Lee is able to get a lot of pressure up front as they come in with Paul Gonzalez in putting the pressure on. And then Dwight finishing him off. Dwight Washington again. Here we go. Paul Gonzalez coming in from the outside linebacker position. He's the one who flushes Hassan out, and then the cleanup is done by Dwight Washington, who already has 11 sacks as of today.
Third down and 11 needed for Westlake. Hassan over the middle and incomplete. Looking for Ballou. Pass was low and in front of him. Ashley Jackson on the coverage, so the Rebels stand to get the football right back. As Westlake once more will have to punt into this breeze.
I think that was the play that Westlake had success with in the first half, going with the wind at their back. They were able to throw the football to that slant, getting Ballou on the trip side of receivers, getting a slant down in the middle, not able to connect on that particular play. And the Midland defense has made some adjustments here in the second half, and they're really shutting down the Westlake offense so far.
James Baker had a solid 38-yard punt into the wind the first time. This is a knuckleball off the side of the foot, and we'll see where they mark it out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to bring that one back up a little bit.
At the 47-yard line, that's a 15-yard punt. Not what James Baker wanted to do, and Lee will have good field position once more. Austin, Texas, here on a Saturday afternoon in December, and pretty pleasant conditions, albeit windy ones here at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. Craig Way, Shea Walker, and Keith Fletcher with you here. 5A Division I Texas Bowl. here in the third quarter of a 21-21 tie. And Cedric Benson getting the call on first down, and Benson around the corner and has first down yardage and then some down to the Westlake 35-yard line as Benson winds up picking up 17 yards and a first down.
Craig, that play looked like it was stopped at the line of scrimmage, and Cedric Benson showing outstanding ability to bounce it to the outside. He gets a nice block by Jacoby Kendrick, and then showing excellent speed, turning it upfield and picking up a big first down.
At the 35-yard line, Lee did not score in its first possession here in the second half as the botched field goal try went for nothing. Now Lee back on the move. At the Shep 35. Benson again with a call. And picks up more good running room. This time as Eric Smart comes over to make the tackle and pick up 8 yards on first down.
Because we look at what Midland Lee is doing on offense, and they have run consistently and predominantly behind the left side. They're going behind number 72, Chad Owens, who's a junior, only 210 pounds, and Jacob Gosh, the senior, 250 pounds. Those are two of the smaller linemen on the side, and they're running right over the left side every time.
Benson up to 25 carries now and 169 yards. Make it 26 carries for Benson, although this time he's in trouble, and look at him shake loose. Benson still on the move. And a first down as Benson showing some of his magic. Takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line, a 12-yard gain.
And you'll be hard-pressed to find a prettier 12-yard run than that. Outstanding job. Cedric Benson showing you why he's such a valuable player. He goes out, he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage, and just the power and the stiff arm as he shoves the defender to the ground. He turns it back up, runs into his own guy, loses his momentum again. Then Houston Street's able to take him out one-on-one down the field. But again, Cedric Benson just showing a lot of potential on that 12-yard run as he shoves the guy down with the ground, stiff arm, has the presence of mind to shift the ball over to the right-hand side. Excellent run.
It goes down in the backfield on the toss back inside the 15 and down close to the 12-yard line on first down this time, and getting up slowly at Cedric Benson after the gain on first down as he continues to move up the ladder, drawing nearer to Robert Straight's 4th all-time mark in high school football rushing history.
That previous run, he only picked up 12 yards, but he covered about 40 in getting those 12 yards.
Second down and 8 after the 2-yard gain. Nick Hand, toss back to Benson. Big running lane. He'll take it in for the touchdown. Benson's 4th of the day, and Midland Lee's first lead of the day.
You really have to be impressed with the job that the Midland offensive line is doing. The Midland Lee offensive line is doing to the Westlake Chaparral defense. They are creating big seams and big holes over that left side. And on this particular play, Craig, take a look at number 79, Brad Stovall. He's downfield blocking on the safety. You'll pick him up in your picture there. He is right now. He's down the field 12 yards throwing blocks for Cedric Benson.
On for the conversion now after the 13-yard run. That's his 3rd straight championship game with at least 4 touchdowns. The extra point is no good, however. Michael Wynn's conversion try hooked left.
That could be big.
We'll certainly find out. 2:28 to go here in the third quarter as it's a 27-21 Midland Lee advantage.
Again, Cedric Benson on this particular play gets just outstanding downfield blocking. All of his guys are down there shoving off and pushing guys down. He runs almost untouched as he makes the cut back up inside as he sees the seam. Again, that's the patience that you see with Cedric Benson, having that vision as he's bouncing it out to the left side. He takes the presence of mind and the patience to cut it upfield, and he gets outstanding downfield blocking for the touchdown.
So it's a 27-21 lead for Lee, the first lead of the afternoon for the Rebels. And Westlake must go back into the breeze here with 2:28 to go in the third quarter. Ron Schrader was hoping there wouldn't be a great deal of wind, although the forecast called for it to be just as it is today. Sunny and pretty mild for mid-December, but breezy. And the wind has made it difficult for the Westlake passing attack. 53-yard, 5-play drive. Takes 2:14 off the clock. Once more, the wind blowing off the tee. And the Rebels, again, will ask Damon Johnson to put a hand on the ball and stabilize it for the kickoff from Michael Wynn. That extra point just hooked left.
He just missed it left.
Christian Campbell.
That was a shot similar to our producer Lee Friday's golf swing, just hooking it straight left.
This is the kickoff by Wynn. This one pops up high in the air, and this is returnable for Campbell at the 6-yard line. Christian Campbell, but excellent downfield coverage, and they limit Campbell to a 17-yard return. He's brought down at the 23. Landon Little downfield for the Lee Rebels to make the tackle. As you look at the Lee scoring drive, Cedric Benson's 4th rushing touchdown of the afternoon, and something that the fans who came out today that might not particularly be cheering for either team, but who cheer for the regular tenant of this facility, the Texas Longhorns, are hoping they get used to seeing that, because that young man is orally committed to play football at the University of Texas next season. 1st and 10, Westlake. Passing the throw from the 23. The rollout pass goes incomplete. Intended target as Robert Rogers was over there.
Robert Rogers doing an outstanding job of guarding Jed Johnston. Again, it's a rollout to the right. You'll see Johnson is a tight end as he tries to release out. Robert Rogers stays right on top of him, and Hassan actually tries to force that ball in there right then, and had he caught the ball, it would have been for a loss. And did a nice job of timing of Rogers coming over with the right hand, swatting the ball away.
On 2nd down, the toss goes back, and maybe a couple of yards to the 25-yard line. Scott Ballou on the toss. And it brings up 3rd down and 8 for Westlake here inside 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Mark Gonzalez, another tackle.
And Craig, we're seeing the Westlake offense, who was so potent in the first half, as they had 116 yards passing and 92 yards rushing in the first half, not be able to do anything. And this is their 3rd series so far in the 3rd period. They've got a tough 3rd down conversion coming up.
Christian Campbell, Grant Pankenine, the wideouts. The back split. Now Ballou goes in motion and Hassan against the blitz. Throws on the run, the ball jarred away and incomplete. Intended for Jed Johnston, but good coverage by Robert Rogers to knock the ball away, and it's 4th down for Westlake.
Robert Rogers is the defensive end, and what he's doing is he's spying on the tight end, Jed Johnson, and says, okay, if he releases, then I'm going to take him. And we see right here at the top of the screen, he tried to run like a little bit of a feint play and come back across the middle. Hassan trying to find him, but getting pressure from outside linebacker Paul Gonzalez, not able to square his body and deliver the ball to Hassan.
After not having to punt it all in the first half, James Baker is punting for the 3rd time into the wind, and the wind knocking this one down, but a fair catch made at the 45-yard line by Tim Norman. 30 yards on that punt into the wind as we go down to the sidelines to Keith Fletcher.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. We're with Dr. Charles Braddock, Athletics Director for the University Interscholastic League. And Charles, talk about the possibility of there being a 4th playoff team in the UIL football playoffs, at least in Class 5A. There's some talk of it.
Keith, as you know, each year we always have some controversy over our playoff system. Right now we have 38% of our teams in the playoffs, which is the same numbers that we have in the NFL. So we think we have a good system. There is a referendum ballot before our school superintendents. It seems to be that the school superintendents are satisfied with our current system.
Thanks a lot. That's Charles Braddock, Athletics Director for the UIL. Greg?
All right, thanks very much, Keith. On 1st down, the handoff to Cedric Benson. Mark Fisher on the tackle. Benson picks up 5 yards out to midfield as we tick down to a minute to go, and Cedric Benson has just hit the 200-yard rushing mark in this game.
It doesn't look like much on that particular play, but now it's 2nd and 5. Again, this guy is like a bullet coming out of that I formation, and he's got so much speed when he hits the line of scrimmage, he just picks up 3 or 4 yards.
On 2nd down, this time Hand rolling out off the play fake. Hoover trying to catch him. He can, and Nick Hand is the 1st down and much more. Eric Smart finally ran out of bounds. A 10-yard gain for Hand on the rollout.
And that was nothing but a design rollout the whole time by Nick Hand. He fakes the ball here to Cedric Benson and rolls out to his left, and he's not looking downfield to throw the football, and all he's trying to do is make the corner. He's got enough speed to make the corner as he gets just outside the reach there. Picks up a big 1st down for the Midland Lee Rebels, and they are on the move here.
Steve Hoover had a hand but just could not finish off the tackle on Nick Hand as he picked up the 1st down. Now at the 40-yard line of Westlake. Back to Benson it goes. And Cedric with a gain of 3 to the 37-yard line. Dane Minnick coming over on the tackle, and we'll see if Lee tries to get one more play called here with the wind at its back, or will they go ahead and take a 6-point lead into the fourth quarter. It appears they would be willing to do that.
So, Craig, it's not a real mystery here what Midland Lee is doing, and they're lining up in the I backfield, and they're just coming at you. Sweep left, sweep right, toss left. I mean, they're just coming at it. It's very vanilla, very basic, but when you've got Cedric Benson leading the charge for you, you can make that happen.
The hands go up on both sides of the stadium, 4 fingers. We've got the fourth quarter to go here in Austin. We welcome you back to Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium here in Austin. Craig Way, Shea Walker, and Keith Fletcher with you. 5A Division I Texas Bowl. We begin the fourth quarter. Defending state champion Midland Lee with a 27-21 lead on the Westlake Chaparrals. And you see that Westlake against the run has given up yardage as Cedric Benson gets the call on 2nd and 7. He doesn't get much that time as they bring him down at the 34-yard line. It's a pickup of 2 yards. And an important third down coming up for Lee as they move into this northerly breeze here in the final quarter.
And they showed in the first half that they know, or that they can complete passes. And Nick Hand, again, has been very hot as he's been able to execute the plays. So let's see if he can do something here on 3rd and about 7.
Big play coming up. Jannard Lee, a split receiver at the top of your screen. Out of the I set, the toss to Benson. And Benson with enough yardage for the first down. On 3rd down, Benson picks up 7. Brian Welburn makes the tackle for Westlake. Cedric Benson's numbers continue to climb in excess of 200 rushing yards today, and he has all 4 lead touchdowns.
Craig, this Westlake defense is no slouch either. They've only allowed 1 100-yard rusher this year, and they've held opposing teams to 127 points coming into today's game, so this is not a slouch defense.
Westlake has not encountered a running back quite like this one. 1st and 10 for Lee. Benson again, the call, and he moves inside down to the 23-yard line. Brian Welburn makes the tackle, and of course the Woodlands held Benson to 92 yards on 28 carries a week ago. Part of that, the Islanders with a big defensive front, and they really gang tackled and teamed up, but they're getting excellent push off the offensive line today is Midland Lee.
The offensive line for Midland Lee has just been outstanding. We see them on Cedric Benson's long runs. I mean, they are downfield, Craig, blocking 10, 12 yards down the field. They're able to get to the linebackers, and that's creating the seams for the Midland Lee runners.
On 2nd and 6, Hand going to tuck it in and run, and breaks off 1 tackle, but then coming over to make the stop for Westlake was Frank Welburn. He limits Nick Hand to a 3-yard gain with some help from Tyler Gatewood. So here we are early in the fourth quarter as we look at our Gatorade game summary. You see Cedric Benson's very impressive totals. And the total yardage now favoring Lee significantly after Westlake had 7-0, 14-7, and 21-14 leads. It's Lee with the momentum here early in the fourth quarter.
And really defensively, Midland Lee has shut down Westlake so far in this second half.
Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 3 for Lee. They toss it back to Benson, and he is close to the first down. Second effort might have gotten it inside the 19-yard line.
That was his 3rd effort, Craig. His 2nd effort came at the line of scrimmage. Wow.
Well, Cedric Benson thinks he got the first down.
And watch the way this guy comes through. As he not only goes through, he cuts it back up the middle, he gets hit at the line, he keeps the legs moving, then he leans out his body as far as he can to pick up the first down. Outstanding individual effort. He willed his way to that first down.
Benson continues to pound away at the Westlake defensive front.
A little uncanny, Craig, on that particular one. It just seemed like he knew what he had to do to get the first down, and it wasn't very easy for him to do it, but he was able to get it done. He wanted that first down.
1st and 10. Lee on the move again. Back to Benson inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line, and that's Jacoby Kendrick, the fullback, as Benson got a breather. So used to calling 32, and there's 42. Jacoby Kendrick, the fullback on first down.
A very effective play for Midland Lee. A quick hitter. We saw him run it a little earlier today, but they didn't have Westlake hadn't seen enough of Cedric Benson to really bite on that, and they really are able to pop Jacoby Kendrick up the middle. I mean, the guy's got 7 touchdowns this year, so he's pretty effective with the football. He just doesn't get it as often.
That one works for 8 yards down to the 10. Now it's Benson's turn. And Benson has 5 touchdowns this afternoon. Cedric Benson's 5th rushing touchdown has widened the Midland Lee lead.
Craig, you can't say enough about the block of Jacoby Kendrick as he comes out on the corner. He's coming from the fullback position. As he comes out, he lays the block out. And you'll see it right up here at the top of your screen on the corner. Jacoby Kendrick goes out and he'll lay out the defender and just create a scene for Cedric Benson. He just gets a chip on him on that play, but again, that's all Benson needs. Again, a wonderful job of execution by the Midland Lee offense.
Well, after missing the last extra point, Lee's going to go for 2 here. And it is Hand looking to throw, and it's short. Kendrick caught the ball but fell down shy of the goal line. Nevertheless, it's a 12-point lead for the Midland Lee Rebels with 8:44 to go in the game. Westlake finds itself trailing by its largest margin of the year. It was 4 years ago that the Westlake Chaparrals won their first and only state title, led by a young man named Drew Breeze. Breeze led Westlake to a perfect 16-0 record and an overwhelming victory over Abilene Cooper in the state championship round, 55-14. Drew Breeze, of course, going on to great heights at Purdue University, a Heisman Trophy finalist. And Ron Schrader could use a guy like Drew Breeze. Not that Duke Hassan's done a poor job today, but now Westlake needs to rally back. They trail the Midland Lee Rebels 33-21, 8:44 to go. Another splendid drive for the Rebels, led by Cedric Benson, as Michael Wynn will kick off into the wind. Line drive kick. And that one's taken by Scott Ballou at the 14-yard line. And Ballou up the sideline with an excellent return. And that's what having the wind at your back can do to help out as he takes it all the way out to the 44-yard line. 29-yard return. And Benson getting a much-deserved breather now.
Well, much-deserved breather, a little bit of water, a couple of pats on the back. I mean, this has been phenomenal today, running the football. You know, Craig, he is a workhorse. And again, there's nothing real exotic about what Midland Lee is doing on offense. They're pitching him the ball, and he's taking it the rest of the way.
You look at what Westlake has done in the second half, minus 5 yards of total offense. They go to the ground on first down, and Scott Ballou picks up a yard to the 45-yard line. You see the clock moving with 8:25 to play in the game. Westlake down 2 scores for the first time this season.
And this being their 4th possession of the second half, the first 3 possessions, they got no first downs, hardly any yards, as you just mentioned, minus 5 yards rushing. And this Midland Lee defense has made some nice adjustments at the half. They've come down and really shut down this Westlake offense so far.
Brad Bevan is checked in at fullback as Westlake goes to a 4 wide receiver set, now making it an empty set. And Bevan splits out as a receiver. Hassan under pressure throws over the middle, and the ball is caught at the 47-yard line by Jed Johnston. And Johnston, the tight end, makes the grab for short gain, and they'll actually mark it right at the 47-yard line. A gain of a couple, and it's 3rd down already for Westlake.
That was really an awkward throw there by Duke Hassan as he took the ball back out of a no-back backfield. He throws the ball going away from himself into the middle of the field, and Johnson had to make a sliding catch even to get underneath the football.
On 3rd down, Scott Ballou, the man in motion. Hassan in trouble, throws the ball away, and it'll be 4th down for Westlake again. The pressure was coming once more on Duke Hassan.
So we've seen the linebackers all day. We highlighted them at the beginning of the game, and Paul Gonzalez again putting just a ton of pressure on Hassan, not allowing him to get his feet square, looking down the field at all. He's constantly on the run. And again, Paul Gonzalez coming in from that outside linebacker position.
7:11 to go, and Ron Schrader feels the urgency is there. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 7 yards to go. Westlake in a dire predicament now, needing to convert for a 1st down. Hassan with time. Over the middle, flag goes down. The pass is caught short of the first down by Johnston. But we'll check the flag as Johnston is slow to get up. The rebel back, Jacoby Hartley, there on the coverage.
Johnson doing a nice job of going up and catching that football in his hands. He's a little winded right now. He's hurt, a little winded. He got dinged right there pretty hard.
The penalty goes against Midland Lee. One of the Rebels might have been holding Scott Ballou, who had come out as one of the receivers, and that's going to keep the Westlake drive alive. It'll be a first down, as our referee Lewis Stroud informs us.
Just again, a nice job.
And you see the catch there, but I think the hold was away from where the pass was going. Ballou might have been the target. John Parchman did not like the call, but it is a first down for Westlake.
The leading receiver right there, Craig, you see why. He goes up and on a big third down play, and he goes up and snares that football with guys draped all over his body. He caught it in his hands and was able to bring it down. Excellent job by Jed Johnston.
Chaparrals keep the drive alive. Chad Schrader out on the field now. Goes in motion as a receiver. And on first down, pass over the middle, incomplete, intended for Ballou. And Lee has adjusted nicely to that slant route over the middle to the backs.
And that's one that the receivers don't like to see, is when the linebacker gets enough drop. Take a look here at number 22, Mark Gonzalez. So you'll see him right here at the end of the play as the ball goes to Ballou. To see if at the same time he reaches his arm out there, he kind of alligator arms it, and who can blame him? You got Mark Gonzalez bearing down on you, laying the lick.
Campbell, one of the split receivers. On second down, the toss goes back to Ballou, looking for some blocks, picks up some, past the first down for Westlake. First significant run the Chaparrals have had since the first half, 11 yards by Scott Ballou. The ball is down close to the 31-yard line, where Westlake moves the chains again as we draw near the midway mark of the final quarter.
Nice job by Ballou after that pass across the middle, where he just got almost decapitated there by Mark Gonzalez. Had he gone for the football, that bounces it out to the left side, picks up a first down.
Call it the 32. 19 unanswered points by Midland Lee. Westlake has not scored here in the second half, and Ballou takes it down to the 29-yard line. Mark Gonzalez, another tackle for the Lee Rebels.
These guys that were highlights at the beginning of the show, they're not disappointing at all. I mean, these guys are incredible the way they run to the football. See Mark Gonzalez coming in all the way from his middle linebacker position. He runs right down the line of scrimmage, and he catches Scott Ballou, a running back, who's probably got a step or two on him, and he's able to drag him down from the back. Just an impressive individual effort there by Gonzalez.
Jed Johnston, Christian Campbell, the wide out. Brendan DeWan goes in motion. Hassan over the middle. The ball is caught by DeWan, and then he is popped hard at the 27-yard line once making the reception and driven back. J.R. Brown and Paul Gonzalez on the stop. As you look at Paul Gonzalez there, 5.5 minutes to go in the game, and Lee closer to a three-peat as Westlake tries to fight back.
Get another shot delivered there by Paul Gonzalez, the brother of Mark Gonzalez. Again, we've seen Westlake come back to that play a couple of times, Craig, where they're running the tight end or the inside receiver back across the grain, trying to create an opening, but Midland defenders are laying some pretty good letter.
An important third down for Westlake, throwing on the run. The ball is caught, but it's short of the first down. Christian Campbell made the catch at the 23-yard line in front of Jacoby Hartley, the rebel back, but it's going to bring up another fourth down for Westlake.
And a real decision here, because now do you kick the field goal, get some points?
They need two. They're down double digits. They need 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's right. You only got 4:48 there. You're exactly right. They're going to have to go for this one again. Actually, this one looks a little easier to convert than the one they had before, huh?
They need about a couple anyway. A long 2 here on 4th down for Westlake. Lee fans trying to exhort the Rebels to stop the Chaparrals, and this is close for Scott Ballou, and it looks like he's got the first down.
Well, he's getting a good spot on the bench side. He's getting a spot where he stretched the ball out, too, and that may be just enough for a first down.
Easily the most important measurement of the day coming up here.
Craig, I don't think he has it. He's
You're
going
right.
to be about a nose short.
From where they put down the ball, it doesn't look like he has it. And if they stopped him here, this might be the game right here.
When the line judge ran up and he marked the ball with his right foot, it looked like he had enough to make the first down. And then when they actually put the ball down, it looked like they may have backed it up just a hair, and it's going to be close.
Rebels say they've stopped them. And they have. That close. But Midland Lee has stopped Westlake. And Fred Threat and the rest of the Rebels can celebrate. They're getting closer now as they take over the football with 4:25 remaining.
What a huge fourth down stand that was by the Midland Lee defense as they were able to hold Scott Ballou just inches shy of a first down.
1st and 10 for Lee. And Westlake knows it needs to stop the Rebels. You know the ball's going to go to Cedric Benson, who is 14 yards away from becoming the 4th all-time rusher in high school football history. Now, first down, they go to the fullback, Kendrick. Lee very content to run the clock here in the waning moments of the game.
Well, they've got a guy that they can do that with Cedric Benson because, again, giving him the football, chewing up the clock shouldn't be too much of a problem as long as they have done, Craig, this whole second half. I mean, Midland Lee, they've made some halftime adjustments, but they have come out and just played an outstanding second half of football, both offensively and defensively.
Benson, the deep back, on second down, a 4-yard gain for Kendrick on first down. Now Benson with the call. And this time the shot rush can't hold him. And Benson comes up. There's also a late flag coming in on the end of the play. Important penalty here because Benson bounced off tacklers, but it's going to go for naught. The penalty against Lee.
Coach Parchman not too happy to see that flag get thrown there. Again, all he needs to do is run the clock out, and he will be a three-peat champion with the Midland Lee Rebels.
It would be back-to-back in Division I. Of course, they won the Division II championship in '98.
But now, correct me if I'm wrong, high school czar. It's 3 consecutive titles in Class 5A. This would be the first time that it would be done. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
I'm going to you for the source.
The numbers in the last 2 years. Let's go down to the sidelines to Keith Fletcher.
Well, guys, you know, it'll be a few more months before Cedric Benson steps foot on a collegiate football field, but he's already up for a Heisman Trophy Award. That's because the Downtown Athletic Club in New York has for the first time sponsored a high school Heisman. They've divided the country into 6 different regions, and Cedric is one of 3 from the South region, one of 2 from Texas, to be up for the high school Heisman. It'll be awarded on December 30th during the halftime of the National High School All-Star Game that'll be played at Highland Park High School in Dallas. And also, as well as that, it'll be televised right here live on Fox Sports Net.
Well, Cedric Benson doing his part to earn a high school Heisman, and there he goes again after the penalty made it 2nd and 15. Now he gets the carry, and it's 3rd down.
Certainly he would be deserving of a high school Heisman, but you kind of question a high school Heisman. Does that put a lot of undue pressure on a guy? Because if he goes to college and say he doesn't quite meet the expectations or all the hype coming in, I mean, that's a little bit of a slam on him.
Well, this guy, of course, has been slamming into defensive backs and doing a great job throughout his high school career, and he's close to becoming the 4th all-time leading rusher. Clock moving, 2:40 to go in the game. 3rd down. Benson, the carry again, and he stopped short, and now Westlake's going to ask for a timeout. With 2:31 to go, they will get the football back. Ron Schrader's team back on its heels. They trail by 12. 32,285 here today at Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, and those who've come from West Texas are much happier right now than those who made the short drive from Westlake Hills over here to the stadium, because it is Midland Lee closing in on a 3rd straight state championship. Here's the punt by Michael Wynn into the heavy-duty breeze. That ball bounced off one of the chaparrals, and it comes down. They fall on it at the 50-yard line. So Westlake will have it after a 24-yard punt, but the chaparrals in desperate straits now. 2 timeouts left, 2:23 to go, and down 12 points.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Jake Johnson coming up, Craig, to field that ball as it did bounce into one of the blockers, and he was heady enough to go down and make sure and pick that ball up before the Midland Lee could get on it. Now, for Westlake, we've seen them have success early in the game throwing the football. Obviously, they're in passing situation right now. They need to get up. They need to chew up big chunks of yardage and get first down or throw the football so they can stop the clock.
On first down, going to be a reverse to Schrader, who will throw the ball downfield for Campbell, who can't get to it. They went back to Chad Schrader, who, of course, began the season at quarterback. Chad, of course, broke his collarbone in the season-opening win at the HEB Texas Football Classic. They almost had the trick play work.
Good play there, good play call by Ron Schrader, having his son come down. He knows he can throw the football. He's just not able to hang it out enough for Christian Campbell to run underneath it, go just out of bounds. But, you know, that's what Westlake is going to have to do to get back in this football game. They need 2 touchdowns, and they need them quick.
Just beyond the reach of Christian Campbell. It's 2nd and 10 with 2:15 to go. DeJuan in motion. The slant route incomplete for Campbell. Well covered by the cover corner, Damon Johnson.
And Craig, taking the vantage point that we have to look down on the field right now, Midland Lee has obviously gone back to a cover 2, but their safeties now are playing back about 15 yards deep, where normally they play around, 9 to 10 yards deep. So they're playing back, they're anticipating the passing game, and they want to keep everything in front of them.
3rd down now. See the numbers today for Christian Campbell. Playing his final high school football game, and there's the coverage of which Shea spoke.
See, they're even dropping now the Rebel back. He's going back, and he's about 15 yards deep, and they really want to keep all these plays in front of them.
Pass deflected at the line and incomplete as the Rebels get Fred Threat right in there to knock it down, and Westlake down to perhaps its final offensive down of the season.
And Big Fred, the senior, 6'2", 305, showing the sign to the fans that, hey, I got that one, fellas, I got that one.
One more play they have to be saying to themselves, knowing if they stop the Chaparrals here, they can celebrate what will be a 3rd consecutive 5A state championship. First team to pull off that feat. It'll be back-to-back in Division 2. Or Division 1, excuse me. They had the Division 2 title in '98. 4th and 10. Hassan throws on the run, incomplete. The ball will go over to Midland Lee, and they can feel it now on the Rebel side.
And a lot of pressure on Hassan there by Dwight Washington. Again, the team leader in sacks, came into today's game with 10 sacks. He doesn't allow Hassan, as he's rolling out to his right, ever have an opportunity to set up, who was looking downfield for Christian Campbell. Didn't have an opportunity to try to deliver the ball because Dwight Washington putting on too much pressure. And you can't say enough about this Midland defensive effort in the second half.
At the 50-yard line. Yes, the folks in the Basin can say three-peat, because Lee is that close to taking it back for a 3rd consecutive state title.
But what do you do for an encore?
Well, John Parchman would take them back and make it for them. But they're certainly going to want to enjoy this. Here's Cedric Benson, and Benson has just become the 4th all-time leading rusher in Texas high school football history. 5 yards on that carry, and unofficially for the day, that will take Benson to a total of 243 yards, which would move him past Robert Strait of Cuero to become the 4th all-time leading rusher in Texas high school history.
And Craig, again, he is doing this against a defense that has only allowed one 100-yard rusher this year. Outstanding effort by Benson.
He's 29 yards away from Rodney Thomas being number 3 overall, but Lee knows now can just run out the clock. They will give it to Benson. He'll get up a couple more yards, down to the 42. But this football team has been more than Cedric Benson. John Parchman will tell you that. All of these guys will tell you that.
No question about it.
Big plays made on offense today. Nick Hand quietly making some plays. The fullback, Jacoby Kendrick. Big passes to Jody Walter and Jannard Lee on that drive to tie the score before the half expired. And Eric Winston, what a job he did at tight end.
The big tight end, Craig, I was just going to say, I mean, he saved a couple of drives on 3rd down conversions, going up using his big mitts to bring down passes. And it has been a total team effort by the Midland Lee Rebels. And offensively, they've had everybody contribute. We talked about at the beginning of the game that they would have to have that happen in order to win this football game today, and they did. And on the defensive side of the football, they absolutely shut down Westlake in the second half.
Brian Welburn coming off his final game. You can probably take a guess at who our player of the game is. Our Pepsi player of the game. There's the numbers for Cedric Benson. 39 carries, 246 yards, and all 5 Lee Rebel touchdowns. Will he carry it a 40th time? Yes, he will. And a first down for the Rebels. And then that should do it. 40 carries today for Benson, who will unofficially wind up at 249 yards today. Now the clock will run, and Lee will perhaps run one more play and then celebrate a 3rd straight state championship. And it has to be disappointing, obviously, for Westlake. Number 1 in Texas, number 3 in the USA Today national poll, undefeated, and it's disappointing to end this way. A great season for the Westlake Chaparrals, but it's not ending the way they'd like it to end.
Craig, you're right. It's not ending the way they want it to, but what an outstanding season by Westlake. Again, you mentioned number 1 in the state, number 3 in the nation by USA Today. And Ron Schrader, you know, they fought the criticism about coming from Region 4, being a soft region, and they don't play anybody. I say baloney. I mean, these guys are legitimate. They've taken the 2-time repeat state championships to the brink here, and they've played extremely hard today and well deserving of the season that they've had.
Well, you're not overrated if you can get to the final, but it's Midland Lee that will celebrate a 3rd straight state championship. John Parchman to get the bat for the 3rd straight year as the Lee Rebels are back-to-back 5A Division I state champions, and the first school to win 3 consecutive Class 5A state football championships.
Congratulations as well for a great season to the Westlake Chaparrals and for Ron Schrader. Folks, I think it will be a great football game.
Great sportsmanship on the part of these two teams. A tremendous state championship game. Let's go down to the field. Keith Fletcher with the victorious head coach.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig. First of all, Dr. Charles Braddock for the University Interscholastic League with a presentation for Coach Parchman.
Coach Parchman, it's going to be quite a habit. 3 in a row. The state champions once again. Year 2000, Division I state champions go to the Midland Lee Rebels. Congratulations. Thank you. We'll see you next year, too. Hey, C-Ray, how you doing? Thank you.
Coach Parchman,
Yes, sir.
talk about some people, some places, actually thought you were an underdog coming into this game.
Well, we had a good feeling about it. Our kids, you know, our kids won't be intimidated. You know, we just didn't know if we could play good enough, but we knew that fear wouldn't be a factor in the thing. And sure enough, they played hard. And I think they started busting a little concrete, and they saw the momentum change, and they you know, put them on the road.
Tied at halftime, 21. What was the difference in the second half?
Well, we talked about, we've been here before, last week. And what did we do last week? What were you thinking last week? And they came out and executed well, both sides of the ball.
You may win another 3 straight state championships. You may not win another. What has the last 3 years meant to you, your program, and your community?
Well, we've been blessed, and I don't know why. You know, it's not clean living or anything too much, but we've got a bunch of great kids that just bust their tails, a bunch of coaches that are very, very unselfish, and you know, we're so blessed.
Cedric Benson, a special athlete, talk about his career.
Well, he wanted to finish up strong. He said, I'll carry it every time if I need to. You know, and he practically did, but he's a strong player, and he wanted to finish out strong here on this field and make up for, you know, what he thought was the subpar game last week, and we're so proud of him.
Congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you very much.
Thanks a lot. Craig, back upstairs to you.
All right, and, you know, I don't think it was lost on anyone when Dr. Charles Braddock presented the championship trophy for 3 straight titles, and John Parchman said, we'll see you next year for 4. And you have to have that mindset, Shea Walker, and they think that way out in West Texas, no question about it, about winning state titles and winning them in bunches, and they're establishing their own dynasty now in Midland. state championship goes to Midland Lee. The Rebels are winners again. They beat the Westlake Chaparrals 33-21. We'll be back right after this.